Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and I'm so excited I get to hit my exclusive button because we have an exclusive interview here with Amber Heard's neighbor. What? Guys, I'm so honored to meet Amy Goodhart. Welcome to the show, Amy. Are you there?
Thank you. I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I can. The connection's a little wonky, but there we go. We see you beautifully. Thank you so much for being here. Now, you've been watching our coverage. It blows my mind how many people are out there watching what we're doing, but you were watching this coverage. You reached out to me. I looked her up to make sure she was telling the truth. And yes, you lived in that building, the infamous building in question that we're hearing so much about. You lived in that building with Amber and Johnny at the time, correct?
Yeah. I still live in the building longer than them.
Wow. And so not only that, you were there, you interacted with them, but as I have the layout, thanks to that Brian fellow who put it out there, these are the penthouses you're seeing, but you were in one of the lofts nearby, but you all shared the pool and the front door and you interacted with Amber and Johnny a lot throughout the time you were there.
I mean, he traveled a lot, but I would see him, in and out of the elevator. I definitely saw her more. But he's awesome. I remember he invited me to go see his band play. Go Johnny. Yeah. But you could ask me whatever I know about Amber, but there's definitely some stuff that I know about the building that people in the courtroom don't know, and people in all the video footage don't know. And
well, yeah, at some point, let's do a tour. Would you come back live? We'll do a tour.
We should totally do a tour. I'll take you up to the penthouses.
Oh my God, guys. So hit that subscribe button. Oh my God, hit the bell. We'll come back and have her again. I'm so excited. Hit the bell, hit the smash the like. All right. But before we do that, you're here because you told me you want to spill the tea. I love getting tea spilled, especially if it's about Amber Turd. And you want to talk about her a bit. And you also were telling us you want to talk about James Franco. Now, there's been a lot of, things out there saying that James Franco, in fact, I want to read it because I didn't even realize this quote was out there. You actually educated me on this. James Franco, if you don't know, is allegedly, having an affair with Amber, and there's security footage of him coming in the elevator. Now, we're waiting for this to be shown or whatnot. James Franco's clearly trying to dodge this deposition for clear reasons. He doesn't want to perjure himself. But what's really interesting about this...
Look at the dates. Check out the dates and the timestamps. That's for the unedited, elevator video.
Yeah, May 22nd, 2016. She's gonna. All right, but here's what. Here's what Amber's lawyer said. Eric George tells The Blast this bogus story is just another lame attempt by Johnny Depp and his team to spread deliberately misleading information through the media so that he can continue to attack and abuse his ex-wife. Amber Heard and James Franco once lived in the same apartment complex and were simply taking an elevator at the same time. Period. So you have some stuff to say about that, Amy. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I mean, okay. One thing about the ECB, the Eastern Columbia building, is it's a very special building. A lot of artists live here, but we all know each other. We have our own coffee shop that we drink wine and coffee. We have our own Facebook group, between us. And it's just everyone knows each other's business. But the thing about the James Franco, I'm I lived there before they lived there. You think I would know if he moved in? 100% he didn't. And with this video footage, that's why I reached out to you, because I was wait, no, I live there. I got to tell you about this elevator right now. So here she gets in on the penthouse elevator floor.
Yeah, I want to get dinged by the blast, so I'm sorry. I didn't mean, but I'm just pausing and starting. But she comes in seemingly wearing a blanket.
A blanket, yeah. Well, here's the thing. So people have said oh, there's the penthouse elevator. There's actually 3 elevators in the building. Only one of them goes up to the penthouse. The others only go up to the 12th floor. But it's not an exclusive elevator. Everyone takes elevator 1, elevator 2, elevator 3. There's nothing, if for some reason elevator 1, you try to get to the penthouse, you can always go to the 12th floor, blah, blah, blah. But the mezzanine level, which she hits on that button that I'm very familiar with right there, that's where there's a separate door, not the front door, a separate door to go to the parking lot. And you need a key fob, to get in and out. So if you don't live there, which James Franco does not, I'm like this emoji. I just became that emoji in this emoji, Andy. So you need to have somebody come let you in. So she gets in her elevator, 11 o'clock at night. Apparently she claims like, oh, I didn't sleep much. Now, isn't this supposed to be the day after the incident?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so. And so you see her in the unedited footage, get out on M. She makes a right. We have doors right there. There's like a mail room. And
So,
you have to open that door and let somebody in.
to the right. Okay,
which is why you see the time of her getting him, letting the door open, and then them getting back into the elevator together. Like, there's no way he could have gotten in because he doesn't live here.
So you can't just, it's not like another building where you can just buzz them in or call them from up top. I couldn't do that if I lived in this place?
No, we're very protected. You can't come. I'll invite you, Andy. I'll invite you to the pool.
But I just mean you get an Uber Eats. You have to go down to get it. They can't bring it up is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, well, we have 24-hour concierge. So there's always somebody working there. There's a lot of cameras. I'm hoping there's more camera footage. I'm hoping that it wasn't lost, you know, for the sake of this trial. But yeah, it's pretty, and it's downtown LA. Like, it, you know, you feel safe in here. But yeah, like no riffraff can just like walk in and, you know.
Well, so some riffraff just
walked in. I refer to him as
riffraff. Speaking of riffraff, exactly, we both caught that. Speaking of riffraff, James Franco suddenly comes in, backpack.
So
looking
let's talk
at
about
down,
the backpack.
avoiding cameras. Look, I don't want to pile on James Franco, but it sure looks like he's done this before.
I feel like she's telling him, like, make sure you don't look up at the camera. Like, and he's like, what? And he kind of leans on her shoulder. But you go to a friend, okay, let's say they weren't having an affair. He was still going for a sleepover party. I'll tell you that, because he's going there 11 o'clock at night. He's got a bag. He's got his backpack. It looks like an overnight bag to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're visiting a friend who's in trouble, or you bring a bottle of wine, or you come, or you leave your stuff in the car, like, why is he going in there? To me, I think he's going in there because he's got clothes for the next day and, you know, little overnight bag.
And why would she go down? And she's smiling, and yeah, why would she have gone down in the first place? To get her mail? The same time he's just coming up? It's a little convenient.
Well, she had to go down and let him in. So she went down to the M level, let him in. And I can tell you, if we do a tour, I can reenact it with you, so you can time how long it takes to get out of the elevator and walk to that door to let someone in and back. And I will assure you, it is the exact amount of seconds that took.
And then she's hitting a button there. She's hitting the penthouse. She's not hitting. James isn't hitting a button, I noticed. Did you notice that, Amy? She hits one button.
Yeah, because he doesn't live there.
Exactly.
Andy.
James, what floor are you on? No, come to mine.
He can't even live there because Johnny let all these other people live in his penthouses. Like, where would James Franco live? Downstairs to me? Like, there's no room.
And then there's also this. She's doing like a very flirty, like, I'm going to back into you because we're secretly hiding. Do you get that vibe too? Sorry, her connection's a little spotty.
I mean, yeah, she's
There you are, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that I thought about too is if they're friends, and even if, you know, she's letting him upstairs for a little sleepover party, whatever, he doesn't live there. You can tell by the fob, the key, which floor she's pressing, blah, blah, blah. But if she had bruises or something on her face, wouldn't he like look at her face or be like, hey, what happened to you? Or when you first see them walk in together, he's not looking concerned. He's not like in shock.
He's there for something else, Amy.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's
some MDMA.
Yeah,
do you know what? I don't do drugs, but like I never knew what MDMA was before. Well, like some girl tried asked me if I wanted to do MDMA once, and I was like, I went into the bathroom of the club and I was like, hey Siri, what's MDMA? And then they said something about meth. It's like meth.
Yeah,
and
well,
ecstasy
don't
mix.
careful with
like,
all the keywords. If we say too many of those words over and over again, YouTube will bonk. But yes, Amber knew a lot more about that stuff than you did.
I don't know about that stuff, but
so she shows up. Here she is.
but-
Here she is now. The door's opened. The time proves it all. They've hit one button as they both exit. Kind of odd. So
And
if he exits here, where would he be going to?
He's going to the left to go to her penthouse. I mean, there's nowhere else to go. There's only the penthouses there. There's no other apartments on that floor. And all of those penthouses were occupied by the sister and the friend and the boyfriend and the thing and the, you know.
So, all right. So that kiboshes the excuse out there that Amber's team's trying to play of, oh, well, you know, this is nonsense. Completely bogus. Just another lame attempt. They're just live in the same apartment, Amy. You're wrong.
Like, how easy is it to prove somebody lived somewhere or didn't live somewhere? Like, they can't, that lie. I mean, you found out where I live in 5 minutes before we met because you're like, okay, that's where she lives. But like, they can't be like, James Franco had an apartment there. No.
Yeah, it's very odd. And so, all right, so there you've helped us kibosh that, and I would love to see a tour someday. If you're willing, stay tuned, guys. We will go there. But you had some thoughts on Amber yourself because you said there were pool parties. You were able to hang with her and sort of react. Less so with Johnny. Your interactions with Johnny, you told me, and you were saying a bit here, were really nice. He seemed like a really good guy.
Oh my God. He was so nice. Like, anytime, you know, he's just very like calm energy, very warm. I was in the elevator once with my dog. I have a French bulldog, and he was with, I think, maybe his bodyguards, and he was talking to them about going to band practice. And he's like, oh, you should see my band someday. I was like, cool. And he was just like, I never did, but super nice. Amber, on the other hand, was, man, I don't know, like, it's that type of person. Like, again, I'm a New Yorker, so when I moved to LA, I was like, oh, everyone says people are phony and stuck up and this and that. And I'm like, no, people in LA are cool. But she, to me, was the epitome of that kind of gold digger, blonde, not that talented actress, just kind of like doing her thing. But anytime she would be in the elevator or in the hallway or by the pool or something, she wouldn't make eye contact. And that's not how people are in this building. Like, everyone says hello, and she had dogs. Like, they had little munchkin dogs that were always running around in the hallway. The one that pooped.
in Johnny's bed, yes.
The dog that didn't poop. But no, she just always had this thing about her, like, I'm too beautiful. You can't look at me. I cannot make eye contact with mere mortals, you know.
Mere mortals.
And I ran into her again, not in my building. I was in Hollywood actually having a meeting with my agent, and Amber Heard walks in, and I'm like, oh, this is my neighbor, you know, kind of. And she, you know, just like
no
looks
time of day.
over at no eye contact, no. She was just so phony.
The House and Habit's a really good site if you guys aren't following. I like her reporting. She's done a lot of stuff on Ghislaine and other things, but she's getting into the trial, and she apparently, a source reached out, and I trust, she's been doing good reporter, Jessica there. She does good reporting here. Anyway, this source who wanted to be anonymous didn't want to get sucked into the whole trial. In the course of the interviews, these were the repeated marks, and I'm curious if these at all correct. Does this seem correct of Amber? She's a textbook narcissist. Always has to be the prettiest girl in the room. She only surrounds herself with people she can manipulate and control. She fancies herself an intellectual and always made it a point to be photographed reading books by the paparazzi. An awful
what about
drunk.
The fake glasses?
Yeah, an awful
Didn't
drunk.
She have fake
and always
glasses
partying. And here they are with those books, always with a smart book. And with fake glasses, as you said. Does this sum up, Amber, the limited experience that you have? Does this seem realistic?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, like, to me, Johnny seems almost more like an introvert, you know, like, he works hard, he's an actor. I understand the film business. I work, you know, the long days, and like, I get it. You want to go home, have a drink. Her thing was she just constantly had to be surrounded by people, so much so that she had them all move into the penthouses. And, you know, she just needed that attention from people that would just love her. And, you know, kind of surround her all the time. Like, to me, that would make me crazy. I would just be like, I need some alone time. But she, she just, I think she's very narcissistic. And I mean, you're just seeing more and more of it from her expressions or lack of expressions, during the trial.
So you got to see some of her friends there. I don't want to keep knocking on all them, but my question was more like, do you think any of them are going to come to her defense through this trial? Do you have any sense on somebody who's going to give her a character reference?
You know what? I don't think they are, because like most of what she is saying, I mean, all the stuff that she's saying, like, here I was, abused, and the bruises and this, were like photographs, right? She sent photographs to her friends and that. Nobody actually saw her up close physically so far, including, Isaac and everyone else, with bruises. She never wore makeup. Like, she had beautiful, perfect skin. I hardly ever saw her with, maybe mascara, if
wait,
that.
Did you see her with Amica cream on?
Oh my God, I died. I died with that. That and the Milani makeup. What?
Oh, poor girl.
What was that? The compact.
But come on, Amy, did you see her with her Amica cream or foundation? Do you know?
I mean, you just made me laugh so hard I just snorted. Amica. Have you ever heard of Amica? I actually watched that so many times because I was just like,
she said it so confidently too, like multiple times. Like,
isn't your job as a lawyer to research? Like isn't, like, if you're actually going to have something as, a statement that you're saying, you don't research that?
No, yeah, they're not. Terrible. They're not. So you're getting that vibe. They're not researching. You got to experience them close hand. That we're seeing the truth come out is what's really nice. So they would party at these pools. You were saying, like, the pool area was one where Amber was often there. Any tea to spill on sort of those moments?
I memean, I feel like what I saw when I was, when they were living here was just like a lot of in and outs, a lot of, it just kind of felt like when she was there with her friends, it was just kind of like this ongoing, like, social event, like this social party. Like, she always had like 2 or 3 friends around her all the time. And now I'm like, where are they? Like, I want to bring something up, Andy, that nobody has talked about.
Exclusive?
Exclusive. And has anyone... Okay, so we talked about nobody saw her with bruises in real life, but the photos. Now, in that one photo that she had, was it People magazine?
Yes.
Or
I mean, there's a few, but the People magazine cover.
But you know how she's got like the red here? It looks like blush or something. You know how she has like a bruise on her eye here? Right? I think even maybe a little one here. I think like the doctor, somebody said she had like bruises here.
Yes.
I get them all the time when I get Botox. Why has nobody brought this up?
Oh, interesting.
Amber got Botox all the time. I mean, she's an actress, like all actresses do. I'm not an actress, so I have no excuse, but I'm just old.
Oh,
but,
wow. Yeah, those were the Botox injection days that she sort of played off as that.
I really think, because I looked at that picture and I was like, if the bruise is here, and sometimes it's not like symmetrical, but I've definitely gotten Botox in my life where, it can bruise like, she's fair skinned, so she might bruise easily more than certain, everyone's different or whatever. But I was like, how did no one, do you have a picture of that, of her fake?
Yeah, I just try. I avoid showing it because YouTube then dings the video when we show it too much. But people, we've seen it. I'll tweet it out and you'll be able to see it. But yes, go look at it again, guys, because now with that thought process,
do you think maybe it was fillers, right? Crow's feet filler, a little Juvederm, a little this, a little Botox, but that's it, I had bruising from that, from a little Botoxitician.
Wow. Well, there it is.
I love it. I was like, maybe, you never know, but nobody brought that up, and I'm like, I don't know.
Anything else and please come back. I love that spilling the tea. I want the tour. Anything else to sort of end on here? Any final things that the fans should know?
I mean, I just, Yeah, I mean, watching this, I'm really curious to see if more footage from the building, either surveillance cameras, like I said, there's a lot of cameras in this building. From the front door, we have a surveillance camera. From the side gate door, we have surveillance cameras, and all the elevators, not just the penthouse elevator. So I'm like, where's that other footage? Like, is it lost? You know, because just that one, that's really what I want to find out. I want to see what comes forward with that as like actual proof. And like the Elon Musk thing, was he hanging out here? Like, I don't know.
There are shots of them. He was in the elevator as well.
You know, to tell you the truth, back then I probably wouldn't have even recognized him. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's Elon Musk. I would have just been like, oh, there's some dude. I didn't really know like who he was. You know what I mean? Like,
no, of course.
2015, 2016, like, that's not my jam. Like, I don't drive.
Amber sure sniffed it out though, knowing. Yeah, the other report, there's a lot to go there. I'd love to have you back if you have more that comes in. But as she was reporting, the other thing that sort of takeaway is she's not really into dudes. Is the other thing I'm gathering. Did you get that sense as well? As many people are sort of telling in this, she's gay. She's really way more into women, and that's really what she sort of does. And then she's with these men. Any insight on that?
With the moolah, you know what they say? Like, she doesn't say she's bisexual, but like they say like, oh, you buy me something, I get sexual. That's her. That's gonna be the Amber quote. I'm not bisexual. You buy me something, I get sexual.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, like, her ex-girlfriend is gorgeous, by the way. Like, shoes. Did she ever get beat up? Did we know anything about her?
Yeah, what? That's what's so funny. I mean, it's not funny. It's so horrifying. But the only one who's been arrested for DV is Amber Heard. I mean, it's insane the world we live in. But they still are giving her a pass. I can't get. I want to end on a happy note. Is Isaac as cool as he seems? We lost her just as I wanted the happy note. Are you there? Is Isaac as cool as he seems?
Oh, I love Isaac.
Oh, there we are. So yes, you can attest Isaac is as wonderful as he came across on the videos.
I mean, Isaac was amazing. He was so fun. I think he grew up in Brooklyn in the same neighborhood my dad did. But so we just, you know, both being New Yorkers, we would talk, have coffee, and talk about art. And he was awesome. I was really sad when he had to move. It was really abrupt.
Well, I hope if you're still in touch with him, when all is said and done, please help us try to connect, because he is my must interview when all is said and done, because we have all fallen in love with that man and want to thank him in person. So thank you so much for this insight. Please come back. Let's do the tour. Any final? I want to just plug you too, because you stepped up. She didn't ask to. But check her out if you want to support Amy Goodhart. There she is. Thank you for having the guts to put it out there. I hope. I want to say this. More of you guys step up. Come on, I know there's other people who are watching this right now who have some sort of insight. You can tell me on or off the record. You don't have to come on camera, but reach out, popcornplanet@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on socials at Andy Signor. Please, let's get the truth out there. Any final words, Amy?
No, not really. Like, you know, when I reached out to you is because, like, really the James Franco thing, I was like, what? Like, I live here. You didn't live here. But, you know, like, I think the older you get, the less fucks you give. Mm-hmm. And like, I just turned 49 and I'm like, I don't really give a fuck if somebody thinks like I'm being a bitch talking about Amber Heard, because she's a bitch.
I mean, that's how you end the show. Bravo. I couldn't agree more. And I don't think it's not, I know her audio is connected. I don't think we're being petty, mean people. Like, those audio tapes are horrifying. She's just a bad person. You can hear it in her through the hours of ways she treated Johnny. That's really what it's about. And I think any good human who hears that audio isn't going to be like, oh, no, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. No, she lost it through those audio tapes.
She planned the whole thing. I mean, who is in a... I've been in relationships with fights. You have, like, in the beginning of a relationship, do you just start recording things and recording conversations, recording stuff? This whole, I think it's all premeditated. It's very clear that That's just not normal.
No, most healthiest relationships, Amy, always record each other to double check what they said. You know, that's a huge, huge like bonus that your relationship is in a good place. Oh my God, it's so sad. I feel for Johnny. Well, I'm glad to hear he was a good guy. I've had a limited experience. I've only heard good things, and I've not heard a single good word about Amber. So if anybody would like to, and your name's not Eve Fartlow, please reach out and tell us, because I will hear you out.
Did
Amy,
you say Fartlow?
I did. That's she. That's a whole other. She calls it her hate name because Seth Rogen called her Eve Fartlow, which we all do as well, because of her Israel and Palestine takes. Seth wasn't even hitting her on the Johnny. Like that's Amber's girlfriend now.
Before we watch, I was going to say before we watch the rest of the trial this week, which we will. Every time Johnny said Rottenborn. Yeah.
It's Mr. Rottenborn.
I was like, my life is so good. I was literally laughing for 7 hours. I was like, my life is that good. Like every time, yes, Mr. Rottenborn. Like, what didn't he get teased as a kid? You were born rotten.
You were born.
You were a Rottenborn. Where does that name come? But yeah, Johnny, I just wish the best for him, and we'll see how this unfolds. I hope there's more footage from the ECB. I really do. There's a ton of cameras here. There's a ton of people living here, and there's people who have lived here even longer than I have. You know, but I want to see the rest of that, because the camera footage doesn't lie, but there's a lot of it. I just want to see it.
Well, stay tuned. I hope we get it, and so much more. Amy, wonderful having you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll have her back with a tour during the live. So again, like I said, make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the bell for all alerts. Click it too, otherwise you don't get notified. Hit the like button, smash that in the comments down below. We got lots of pop culture justice here on the channel. Appreciate you guys being here. Amy, wonderful meeting you. Guys, stick around. Click on these boxes as well, and we'll be with you back. I don't know. Lots of content on this topic is coming soon, so stay tuned.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank